Hey, what's up guys? Dr. Peretz here, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that I noticed quite some time ago, something that caught my eye and I think is interesting and hopefully will be interesting to you guys. So sometimes we do these celebrity hair transformations, and today I'm going to talk about a particularly fantastic one, and one that's kind of been under wraps for quite some time now. It's none other than Mr. Jordan Peterson's hair transformation journey. Let's check out exactly how he got this one so right. So just quickly before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you can get more of this content whenever you like. So if we look at Jordan throughout his career as a public intellectual, it becomes glaringly obvious that his hair has substantially improved throughout his career despite his increasing age. So guys, let's jump straight into the photos, and this took me quite a while to find, and this is probably the earliest and most relevant photo I have found of Jordan and his hair. As you can see in this photo, Jordan's quite a young guy. He seems like he's hugging his wonderful daughter. And in this hairline, you can see Jordan has good, thick hair, but with just a little bit of marked frontotemporal recessions, just the beginning of some male pattern baldness right there in this photo. Now, as we move on to the next photo, we can see how he evolves from this in the coming years. So in this next picture, we can see Jordan's hair is markedly worse than the previous photo. So here he's at some sort of an interview at the University of Toronto, and we can see that his frontotemporal recessions are quite marked here, so much so that they're causing this horseshoe pattern of balding, so that surrounds his frontal forelock, and this is quite common for a Norwood 3. This photo I've taken from Jordan's lectures probably about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, which was the earliest lectures that he put on YouTube. And as you can see, his hair is markedly thin in this frontal area. So guys, I couldn't quite pinpoint to when this change actually happened. But here's a photo from 5 years ago in an interview that Jordan gave. And as we can see in this photo, his hairline has markedly improved. But I want you to take notice of something. His hairline's looking kind of straight, and those frontotemporal recessions are pretty closed off, boxed off almost. Now, I'm not saying that his hairline here looks unnatural. I'm just saying it is not the epitome of naturalness. I just want to illustrate again in these photos how those frontotemporal recessions are boxed in, and that hairline looks just a little bit straight. As you can see in this photo and the next photo as well, you can see that of course, his hairline is markedly improved, almost certainly a hair transplant, and we can know this by a little bit of the straightness of the line. Now, what is really peculiar about this is the transformation from this hairline to the hairline he has today. Let's take a look. So if we look at Jordan today, we can see that his hairline is looking a lot more natural, a lot more age appropriate for him. He does slightly let those frontotemporal recessions in, and his hairline is not as straight as it was in the previous photos. Okay, this is the most recent photo of Jordan that I have, and as you can see, his hair still looks great. Definitely an improvement from the first hairline that we saw of Jordan's, but it isn't that straight line that he had about 5 or 6 years ago. Now, this leads me to believe that he had corrective hair transplant. Okay, so he got that little bit of that unnatural look removed. You can do it in 2 different ways. You can either laser the hairs off, but Jordan's hair is white, so lasering white hair typically does not work. Or you can go and individually punch out those follicles that were placed a little bit unnaturally. So why do I think this is a fantastic hair transplant? Number 1, because it is extremely subtle. Number 2, because it's age appropriate. Now, we get a lot of patients who are younger and they want to restore their old hairline back to, when they were 20 years old, when they were 18 years old. Now, this is a bad idea for most people for the following reasons. When we transplant hair from the donor area, typically that hair is resistant to the actions of DHT, which means it will never fall out. So that hairline that we create for you is always going to be there, even if you start balding behind it. right? So it's always a good idea, even if you're young, when you're recreating a hairline, to make sure that it is a hairline that will be appropriate for you for your entire life. Because if you become a public intellectual, you will not want to have a juvenile hairline. In fact, having a high and mature hairline actually makes you look smarter, more distinguished, and better at your age when you get there. What has he done to maintain his hair? Well, most likely he's on some form of 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, like finasteride or dutasteride. And in fact, I think Jordan is a great candidate for topical finasteride or dutasteride because his level of balding is not that high, which means he's not so bald. He's an older guy, most likely not aggressively balding, so definitely a candidate for topical 5-alpha reductase inhibitor therapy. All in all, I still think Jordan has great hair for a guy his age, looks really age appropriate, and I think he looks extremely good.